there. Today I want to talk about things that buyers can do in the negotiation process of buying their home. So for a long time, for the last number of years, we've been in what we would call a seller's market, where buyers didn't really have a lot of negotiating power. But now our market is changing and buyers have a lot more say in what can be negotiated in the contract. So first thing that we always think of and when we think about negotiating in a purchase contract is the purchase price, right? So obviously buyers have a little bit more flexibility in the purchase price than they did even a couple of years ago. A couple of years ago, buyers had to be offering at least asking price, if not above asking price, to get their contract accepted. But nowadays, we've loosened a little bit in that, we've softened a little bit, and buyers have a little bit more negotiation opportunities when it comes to the purchase price. Another things buyers can negotiate with is the earnest money. A lot of times sellers will require a certain amount of earnest money be put down at the beginning of the contract, and that can actually be negotiated. The buyers might be able to say, hey, instead of $5,000, can I give you $3,000? That'll give me a little bit more towards closing costs at the end of the contract. And sometimes that can be negotiated with the sellers to bring that earnest money amount down. Another thing that can be negotiated is actually the closing costs. And the closing costs would be with the lender's closing costs and the title company closing costs. You want to make sure that you know where your money is going, and sometimes those numbers can actually be negotiated as well. Maybe the seller can cover some of that for you if you negotiate that in. Another area when it comes to the loan is regarding credits and buy downs. You can actually buy down the interest rate of your loan, or you can get a credit on the lending side of things. So those things can be negotiated with the sellers. Maybe they can cover part of the cost of that. Inspection items are another big thing in which you as the buyer can negotiate. So you're going to have the inspections done, and there may be things that need to be replaced. You can negotiate with the seller to either replace those things or to give you a credit back at the end to replace that when you move in. Sometimes an inspection, there's nothing really wrong with the house, so you can maybe negotiate a home warranty, that the buyer provide a home warranty for you so you have protection for the major items in your home for the next year to 18 months. Another thing that can be negotiated is inclusions and exclusions. If you're looking on the listing, you'll see that there's items that are included and there's items that are excluded. For example, the buyers may want to exclude a special light fixture that they have in the home. They may want to include the curtains because they don't want to take the curtains with them, whatever it is. You as the buyer actually have the opportunity to negotiate. You can have things included or excluded. For example, there may be a hot tub in the backyard that has a great view of the peak, and you may want to have that included, so you can negotiate to have that included in the offer. Or you can have things excluded. For example, if there is a play structure in the backyard, you may not want that play structure, and you may want that excluded and removed before you move in. A lot of times your lender will not want to see those inclusions and exclusions in the contract, so those things are sometimes written up separately on a separate contract between just you and the seller that the lender doesn't have any part in. So the last thing that you can negotiate on is actually the closing day or the possession day. Sometimes a seller may not be ready to move out quite yet when the closing day happens, so you may negotiate that the seller rent back from you before they move out, or the buyer may need to move in sooner. So sometimes you can negotiate a sooner move-in day so that you can close sooner and move in sooner. So these are just a few of the things that buyers can negotiate. Again, buyers have a little bit more power with negotiating these days, this year, 2023. And so I hope this, as a buyer, I hope this encourages you and gives you some information as you go into your purchasing contract. My name is Jen Persicki with Redbow Realty. It would mean the world to me if you would hit like and subscribe below, and thank you so much for watching.